Entrepreneurship and inclusion are subjects we talk about a lot on this program. A recent guest editorial in the Detroit Free Press focused on the need for more diversity in startups and early stage companies. The column pointed out that only 1% of startups funded through venture capital have black founders. Joining me now are the authors of that commentary, Seun Oyewole, Director of the Accelerator Michigan Innovation Competition, and Martin Dober, who is Vice President and Managing Director of Invest Detroit Ventures. Welcome, both of you, to American Black Journal. Let's talk first about Invest Detroit's role in trying to encourage startups and help early stage companies in Detroit.
So Seun and I work on the venture team of Invest Detroit. Invest Detroit has lots of roles helping companies of basically every size in the city of Detroit and the surrounding region. On the venture team, we work explicitly with startup companies. So we try to support them with not only capital to help them get started, but also mentorship and access to programs that can help get them to a point where they can raise capital in the future.
Yeah. And talking about how Accelerate Michigan's work sort of dovetails with what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Accelerate Michigan is a program within Invest Detroit where we try to highlight the state as well as all the different high-tech, high-growth companies and really just show that Michigan is a venue for business, competition as well as opportunity. This is the 8th annual Accelerate Michigan competition, which will be taking place November 16th at the Detroit Masonic Temple. We're actually very excited to say that we'll be announcing the 36 semifinalists this coming Tuesday, October 3rd. And really, this is an opportunity for these companies to get exposure, to be able to network with investors, see the different corporations in the state that are willing to work with startups and partner with them, as well as even find potential talent and advisors. So it's really a great opportunity.
Yeah, and to the sort of subject of your op-ed, this difficulty getting African Americans access to, this is a capital problem, correct? We talk about all kinds of other barriers to African American entrepreneurship. This one really is just a green one, right?
Well, I would say that it's more than green. There are a lot of different gaps that are serving as hurdles for minorities to get involved in this high tech, high growth ecosystem, if you will. Capital for sure is a big one. But beyond that, we got to think through, what are the startup resources out there that can help folks really package and deliver what they're doing for their respective communities. Who are the advisors? Where's the talent coming from? I think there's a lot of different things across the board that need to be solved for. Financial, of course, is always a big problem. But I think through Invest Detroit and what we're doing with Accelerate Michigan, we think intently and very comprehensive about how we can solve for those things. There's always room for improvement, whether we think about it locally or even nationally. But we're trying to take the first step, and at least bring exposure, come up with different programs, be able to reach out to the right people to ensure that, we're at least touching, the certain points and are able to actively try to solve for them.
Yeah.
Another big thing is not just the dollars going to minority entrepreneurs, but also the makeup of the teams of the venture capital firms. It's not just a Michigan problem, it's a national problem. Where about 1% of leadership teams at venture capital firms are African American, and probably around 10% of leadership teams at venture capital firms are women. So it's a problem not just here, but around the country. And people tend to invest in people they know in their own social groups. And so there's bias. And what we've tried to do at Invest Detroit is we have a very diverse team. We're very intentional about that. And not just for the sake of being a diverse team, but we've found that having a diverse team, it makes you a more successful business. There have been studies, many studies over the years. McKinsey had a study back in 2015 that said companies that hire and are more racially diverse have a 35% more chance of outperforming their competition.
Really.
So having a diverse workforce is not only the right thing to do, but it can make your business more successful.
It could be a profitable thing to do as well. Let's sort of talk about how this fits into the narrative that we have in the city right now about who's participating, who's benefiting from the things that we see happening in downtown and Midtown. This 1% number seems a real indicator that that's not all talk, that there is something to it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is just by being intentional about the programs that we offer and the outreach activities that we have. So we can certainly do better in the amount of African American entrepreneurs that we support and fund, but we are very intentional about just getting out there and meeting with entrepreneurs, mentoring them, at least giving them access, and at least giving them guidance. And hopefully when you start early enough, when you start in just education and training and getting them exposed, that will then lead to success later and
opportunity.
Improvement. But it's definitely going to take some time.
Yeah. So among the firms competing in Accelerator, right, I would also assume that you've got people from all kinds of different neighborhoods, right? I mean, you've got entrepreneurs in the city who live all over the place, not just looking to open things in downtown and midtown.
Yeah, and to be clear, Accelerator Michigan is a statewide competition, so we're attracting companies from across the state, whether that's Detroit, Ann Arbor, Lansing, the UP, making sure that it's geographically diverse. But to sort of answer your question, yeah, I would say we really work with the entrepreneurial support organizations in the city and throughout the rest of the region to not only get in front of the different companies, but to also be able to give them the guidance to put in a strong application, right? Yeah. And even if you're unable to compete at Accelerator Michigan, we're working through how are we giving this feedback to the company, and ensuring that they at least have the opportunity to attend, see the level of companies that are competing, so that they can incorporate that into their application for next year and be able to compete.
Yeah. How much progress do you see across time for those companies that maybe don't make the cut, but come back another time?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a really good example of this is the second year winner of Accelerator Michigan, which was back in 2011, Celsi Diagnostics. So the founders of the company actually, the first year they didn't apply to compete. They actually came in as volunteers. So they're able to kind of work in the different rooms, see all the different competitors, see all the different companies, internalize sort of what they saw to be success for their company, and then use that for the application, and they went off to win, the $500,000 grand prize the next year. Right. So I think it's super valuable in just at least being in the room, being able to network, being able to be exposed. Exposure is a huge thing. Being able to take that information, internalize it, and then apply it to your own business and see how it could sort of advance you through the pipeline.
Yeah. I think what's also interesting to see over the years is where the competition, I think in the early years, most of the winners and the really strong companies were more in biotech and healthcare. Now we're seeing a lot of software companies, and so software companies have been really winning the competition recently. What we've also seen are shifts in geography, where Ann Arbor is certainly the hotbed of technology activity in the state, and they were winning with the top awards almost every year. Last year, the top 2 awards went to Detroit-based companies.
See, that's really great.
And the top award went to a Detroit-based company led by a woman entrepreneur. So
there's some progress.
There's some progress, for sure.
It'll take us a little to move that 1% number, though.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
Always
Thanks. Thanks both of you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org, and you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
As American Black Journal looks ahead at the next 50 years, we want to hear from you, the viewers. Tell us what you think of this program and what you'd like to see on future episodes. Visit AmericanBlackJournal.org to take a quick survey and share your opinion. Thank you.